All right, thank you guys. Big NBA slate here today. So if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now guys, we got ourselves a pretty big slate of NBA action here today, so let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with the Hornets taking on the Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Orlando. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are -1 on the road with the total at 213.5. And if you like the Magic in the slightest of upsets at home here, they are catching even money for an outright win. Now, real quick, guys, did you know that we won 5 out of our last 8 college basketball tier package picks on my Patreon website? That's right, and you can unlock today's college basketball tier package pick by clicking the link in the description section below. Now guys, we currently have over 1,100 paid members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, we have packages as low as $1.99. Link for that website is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now guys, the Magic's on a 2-game losing streak, and they also lost 8 out of their last 9 ball games. Orlando's in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive field goal percentage. The Magic scoring just 102 points a game on their home court. Gordon, Carter Williams, and Aminu are all questionable for tonight's ball game. Now they're taking on a Charlotte team who's 7-2 against the number in their last 9 themselves. And they also cover nearly 70% of their contests on the road. The Hornets are in the top 10 in the NBA defensively in points allowed. They're also in the top 10 in defending the 3-ball. Gordon Hayward scoring over 24 points a night, 5 boards and 4 assists for the 6'7" forward. Meanwhile, Terry Rozier is also scoring 19 points a game himself, along with 4 boards and 3 assists. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Charlotte's last 4 ball games got over the posted number. They're also 5-4 to the over this season on the road. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Charlotte Hornets -1 and the over 213.5. Before we go ahead and dive on here, guys, before we go ahead and move on, I just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Monday's NBA basketball action. Happy Monday to you guys. Hopefully you had an outstanding weekend, and we are certainly looking to get a brand new week started off right here today. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we've been victorious in 5 out of our last 8 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And you can actually unlock today's college basketball tier package pick by clicking the link in the description section below. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you're going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. So once again, when you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you're going to instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. It's not going to cost you anything. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are, watching right now, you might be watching right now, kind of wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and my Patreon site. Well, that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. I'd probably be thinking the same thing if I were you. But what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 4 to 5 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on, and out of all the games I break down here on YouTube, you actually get to find out which one of those games I have my action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now guys, once again, we currently have a community of over 1,100 paid members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. I strongly recommend it. And the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on here, guys, we got a lot of games to cover here. So let's go ahead and move on and get to it. Our next matchup, it is going to be Sixers versus the Pistons. 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Detroit. Now, Philly's -7 away from home. Numbers 217 flat. The Sixers score just 105 points a game when they travel this season. They've also successfully covered the number in just 29% of their road games. Philly's in the bottom 3 in the NBA in road scoring. They're also in the bottom 5 in road three-point percentage. Now keep an eye on Joel Embiid. He's listed as questionable for Philly with back problems. Meanwhile, Poirier and Scott, they're both out for the Sixers as well. Now Philly's taking on a Detroit squad who successfully covered the point spread against Philly just a few nights ago. Detroit's actually gone 4-2 against the number in their last 6 ball games, and they actually find themselves 5-4 against the spread on their home court this season. So as bad as their straight-up record is, these guys, they do a pretty decent job covering the number, at least in several different categories. Now, the Pistons are in the top 10 in the association in third quarter scoring. They're also in the top 3 defensively in fourth quarter points allowed at home. Jeremy Grant is scoring over 24 points a game along with 6 boards and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Blake Griffin scoring 13 points a night for Detroit as well. 6 rebounds and 4 assists for the veteran power forward. Now, total-wise, Detroit's 6-3 to the under at the Little Caesars Arena. Philadelphia 71% to the under when they travel themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Detroit Pistons +7 and the under 217. Next ball game, it is going to be Raptors versus the Pacers, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Pacers are -2.5, totals 216 and a hook. And if you like the Raptors in an upset on the road here, they're plus $1.15 for some money line cash. Now the Raptors are just 2-6 straight up on the road this season. Bottom 5 in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. Kyle Lowry's questionable for tonight's action. Toronto's taking on a Pacers team who's in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage at home. And they rank in the top 3 in third quarter scoring on their home court as well. Malcolm Brogdon scoring 22 points a game along with 4 boards and 7 assists. Now the starting point guard is also averaging 2 steals a night on the defensive end of the court as well. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis is scoring 21 points a game himself along with 13 boards and 6 assists. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Indiana's last 4 got over the posted number. They're also 5-3 to the over in their last 8. I'm going to lean toward the Indiana Pacers -2.5 and the over 216 and a hook. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Heat versus the Nets, 7:30 p.m. East. Now, the Brooklyn Nets are -7 with a total at 235.5. Brooklyn's first in scoring in the NBA, first in offensive field goal percentage as well. The Nets are scoring 122 points a game on their home court, and they make 41% of their three-pointers at the Barclays Center as well. Kevin Durant scoring over 31 points a game along with 7 boards and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving scoring nearly 30 a night himself along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists as well. Brooklyn's leading the NBA in home offensive field goal percentage, and they rank in the top 5 in home offensive rebounding. They're taking on a Miami squad who's got Butler, Opala, Vincent, Silva, Harkless, Dragic, Bradley, Leonard, and Hero, all listed on the injury report. The Heat's dead last in the association in offensive rebounding, bottom 10 defensively in points allowed. Miami gives up nearly 116 points a game when they travel, and they lost 6 out of their last 8 road games. Now, total-wise, Miami's 6-2 to the over in their last 8. Brooklyn's 12-0 to the over in their last dozen. I'm going to lean toward the Brooklyn Nets -7 and the over 235.5. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Lakers versus the Cavaliers, 8 p.m. Eastern start time in Cleveland. The LA Lakers are -7 away from home, numbers 212.5. And as usual, the Lakers may have to go to work without AD and LeBron. Both are literally listed as questionable every single day, day to day. Any type of injury report you see, you're going to see those two on there. It's just kind of a crapshoot whether one or both of them will play or sit out. But anyway, the Lakers, believe it or not, rank in the bottom 5 in the NBA in third quarter scoring on the road. They're taking on a Cleveland squad who's won 3 out of their last handful of games themselves, and that actually it was 3 out of their last 4, and that includes a 2-game sweep of the Brooklyn Nets during that span. The Cavs are also 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 as well. They rank in the top 10 in the NBA defensively in points allowed. They're also in the top 10 defensively at home. Colin Sexton's averaging 26 points a game along with 2 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Andre Drummond is scoring over 18 a night for the Cavs, 15 boards and 3 assists for the 6'10 center. Drummond also averages 2 steals and 2 blocks a night as well. This guy's kind of getting, the job done on both ends of the court. Now, total-wise, Cleveland's last 4 straight contests all got over the line. They also saw 8 out of their last 10 meetings with Los Angeles get over the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Cleveland Cavs plus 11 and the over 212.5. All right, next contest, it is going to be Nuggets versus the Mavericks, 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time in Dallas. The Denver Nuggets are minus 1.5 on the road, totals 222 juice to the over. The Nuggets are on a 3-game winning streak right now, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. Denver's also winning 71% of their road games, and they rank in the top 3 in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage on the road. Denver averages over 119 points a game when they travel. Nikola Jokic is scoring 26 points a game for the Nuggets, 12 rebounds and 10 assists a game for the Joker. The 6'11 center also averages... let's try that again. The 6'11 center is also averaging 2 steals a night. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say. But anyway, Jamal Murray is also scoring 20 points a game himself, along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Now, they are taking on a Dallas squad who's going to have to go to work without Kleba, Finney-Smith, Richardson, and Powell. The Mavs also lost 4 out of their last 6 ball games, and they find themselves just 2-3 straight up on their home court this season. Now, Dallas is in the bottom 5 in offensive field goal percentage at home. They're also in the bottom 3 in shooting the 3 ball in that same category. The Mavs are scoring just 102 points a night at the American Airlines Center. Now, total-wise, Dallas went 3-0 to the over in their last trio of ball games. Denver's 3-0 to the over in their last 3 themselves. The Nuggets also saw 6 out of their last 7 road games get over the line as well. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets, minus 1.5, and the over 222. All right, next contest, it is going to be Celtics Bulls, 9 p.m. East. Boston's minus 5.5 on the road, totals 229 flat. The Celtics lost 3 out of their last 4 contests, just 3-5 against the spread away from home this season. Boston is in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter scoring, and they rank dead last defensively in third quarter points allowed. Now, Tatum and Walker are questionable. Langford and Pritchard are still out. Now, Boston is taking on a Bulls team who's 3-1 straight up in their last 4. And they actually covered the number 80% of the time in their last 10 contests. Chicago's in the top 5 in scoring, top 3 in offensive rebounding at home. Zach LaVine scoring 27 a night along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Lauri Markkanen is also scoring 19 points a night for the Bulls himself along with 7 rebounds. Now we're looking at a Chicago Bulls team who is in the top 10 in defensive rebounding at home. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, Chicago actually saw 2 out of their last 4 stay under the posted number, 9-4 to the under in their last 13 against Boston. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Chicago Bulls plus 5.5 and the under 229. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Spurs versus the Pelicans, 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Pels are minus 2.5 with a total at 225 and a hook. New Orleans has lost their last 3 straight, just 1-8 straight up in their last 9. They are arguably the worst team in the league right now over the past couple of weeks. The Pelicans have also failed to cover the point spread in 8 out of their last 9 ball games as well. New Orleans is dead last in shooting the 3 ball at home, and they find themselves averaging just 108 points a game. They've also failed to cover the number in 4 out of their 5 home games. They're taking on a Spurs team who's winning nearly 70% of their games on the road, and they've also gone 6-3 against the number in those road games. San Antonio's in the top 10 in defending the 3 ball away from home, and they allow just 109 points a game when they travel. Now, DeMar DeRozan scoring over 20 points a game along with 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Meanwhile, DeJounte Murray is scoring 15 points a game himself along with 7 boards and 5 assists. Once again, I said it earlier in the year, it's really good to see DeJounte Murray healthy this season and playing some fairly solid basketball. Once again, Murray, 15 points a game, 7 boards, and 5 assists. Now, total-wise, 6 out of San Antonio's last 8 stayed under the posted number. 80% to the under in their last 10 against a Southwest Division opponent. If you're into historical trends, I'm going to lean toward the underdog San Antonio Spurs plus 2.5 and the under 225 and a hook. All right, next contest, it is going to be Thunder Blazers, 10 p.m. Eastern start time in Portland. Now, the Blazers are minus 6.5 at home here. Numbers 223 and a hook. Pretty big number, in my opinion, here, because Portland, once again, is going to be going to work without Joseph Nurkic and CJ McCollum for a significant period of time. Portland's also just 2-7 against the spread at the Moda Center this season, so they haven't been great against the number at home. Portland gives up 116 points a game on their home court, and they rank in the bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. Now they're taking on a Thunder team who's covered 6 out of their last 9 road games, and they rank in the top 3 in defending the 3 ball away from home. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 22 points a game along with 5 boards and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Lou Dort is scoring over 13 a night himself along with 4 rebounds. Now total-wise, 2 out of the Thunder's last 3 stayed under the number. 6-3 to the under on the road as well. Meanwhile, Portland's 4-2 to the under in their last 6 themselves. Throwing out the Knick game, I'm going to lean toward the underdog OKC Thunder plus 6.5 and the under 223 and a hook. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Timberwolves versus the Warriors, 10 p.m. Eastern start time in the Bay. Now, the Warriors are minus 8, totals 227. Golden State leads the NBA in defensive field goal percentage at home. They're also in the top 10 in defending the 3 ball at home as well. Steph Curry scoring 28 points a game along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins finds himself averaging nearly 18 a night as well. 5 rebounds and a couple assists for the 6'7 forward. The Warriors have won their last 7 straight hosting the T-Wolves. And speaking of Minnesota, they've lost 8 out of their last 10 this season themselves, and they rank dead last in offensive field goal percentage on the road. Now, the T-Wolves are scoring just 106 points a game when they travel, and they've lost 5 of 6 away from home this season as well. Bad news for Minnesota backers here. D'Angelo Russell's listed as day-to-day. Karl Anthony Towns is out. And when it comes to the number in this one, 3 out of Minnesota's last 4 contests stayed under the line, 4-2 to the under on the road. Meanwhile, the Warriors saw 6 out of their last 9 stay under the number themselves. They're officially 67% to the under on their home court this season. I'm going to lean toward the Golden State Warriors minus 8 in the under 227. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we've been victorious in 5 out of our last 8 college basketball tier package picks on that website. I like the Hornets minus 1 over 213.5, Pistons plus 7 under 217, Pacers minus 2.5 over 216 and a hook, Nets minus 7 over 235.5. I'm leaning toward the Cavs plus 11 over 212.5. I also like the Nuggets minus 1.5 over 222. Give me the Bulls plus 5.5 under 229. I also like the Spurs plus 2.5 under 225 and a hook. I'm leaning toward the OKC Thunder plus 6.5 under 223 and a hook. And before I give you this T-Wolves Warriors game, one final reminder that you can access today's college basketball tier package pick on Patreon by clicking the link in the description section below. Please feel free to smash the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. You can also subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. I'd be greatly appreciative of it. Give me the Golden State Warriors minus 8 and the under 227. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into some shout outs to my top 10 favorite YouTube commenters over the past day or so. So with that said, shout out goes to Mike Lachey, Johnny M, Scott Kaler, Burns 1704, RM Jackson, Brian Herrera, GEE Wright, Joaquin Elvin, Antonio Gonzalez, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Darius McNeil. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. Also, keep in mind, if you end up getting a package here today, all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. So, for example, if you get the $4.99 package here today, all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.